What is going on, guys, and welcome to my Dark Brotherhood expansion review guide for the Elder Scrolls Online. So, the video you guys are going to see on the screen right now is completely spoiler-free. We're just doing some contracts, which is essentially the side missions and stuff you'll be doing regardless of if you're playing this or you're just watching it. And the video, or like the thumbnail you guys are going to see at the top of the screen, is going to be linked to my playlist, so if you just want to watch me play through everything from the beginning, you can click that. It took me about 20 hours to beat in total, just for the main storyline, so if you're just interested in checking out some actual live gameplay, that's a good place to go. And so yeah, in this review, I'll be going over what you should expect from the game, my thoughts and opinions, and what was kind of new, and just in general, what you should expect. So, it came out on PC on May 31st and console as of June 14th, which is not released as of I'm recording this video. So I can't really talk too much about the console side of things, but I do believe a majority of the things you guys are going to be seeing and hearing is going to be the same. So it costs 2,000 crowns, which is like the equivalent of $20. And do I think it's worth it? Yeah, I really do think it was worth it. So I'll go over why in a second. So what you should expect is, if you played the Thieves Guild expansion, which is the previous one before the Dark Brotherhood, you get a new skill line, which was introduced. It's essentially what you're going to be needing to progress through the main story. So if you don't know or haven't played the other expansions, you get one new main mission every level, up to like level 8, I believe. And the Dark Brotherhood, like the skill line, it goes up to level 14. So until level 8, you get all the main missions, and then after that, you just do whatever you want. So that's pretty good. I didn't really like the idea of having to grind out until your next main mission, but apparently that's the route ZeniMax is making the expansion, so it's unfortunate, but I guess if some people like grinding it out, that's a thing. So what was introduced in the new expansion was the removal of veteran ranks, and it's been replaced with champion points. Now, I actually think it was a smart idea to do that because before people used to be veteran 16 with like hundreds of champion points, and then now all you have to do is grind out champion points. So it kind of makes things a little friendlier for newer players, but there is a cap for that. Right now, if you are veteran 16, that's the equivalent of 160 champion points. And then obviously if you're playing longer, you'll have more than that. Example is, if you had a veteran 16 weapon, the item will now show 160 champion points to use the weapon. That's kind of the equivalent. And then there's a new cap of 501 champion points for everyone at this time. And obviously if you're doing PvP, they changed a few things around, which is like the Azura Star, which was the main PvP zone. They now removed it so that the champion points are kind of gone from that PvP section, but there are still zones where you can PvP and champion points affected. So essentially they made a balanced zone, and one that's like, if you have low champion points, you could be fighting against high champion points. So essentially that's what you want to look into a little bit later. That's just one of the things, but that's not really Dark Brotherhood related. It's just part of the new expansion, so that's something you should expect in the future. So let's get into the Dark Brotherhood and what you should expect. We just went over the skill line, how you get like new stuff and more passive skills for the Dark Brotherhood. And if you ever played the previous Elder Scrolls games, you should kind of know a little bit about it. So I'm not going to go into detail of what you should like expect from that one. So the completion time for me was about 20 hours. I did start the game with about 270 champion points and then finished it with like 285. So just by doing the main story, you get about 15. But obviously, if you have like boosters and all that stuff, you'll get more, and things will just be simply easier. And yeah, overall, I thought it was a good story. You get a new area or location zone that you'll be going to for the Dark Brotherhood. It's called the Gold Coast. Now, this expansion is primarily PvE, and I would say for the most part solo friendly. And that means you can do everything by yourself. there weren't too many world bosses. There's actually only 2 of them, and you guys can see that in my playthrough. I actually completed it. It wasn't too hard. Overall, I would say it had a really nice scenery, and the story was actually really good. How do I word this without spoiling? It was balanced. It wasn't like too long or too short where it didn't make any sense. I thought the story was perfect, and there was a few things that could have been answered, but overall, I didn't feel like any missions were just dragging on, and nothing was like, why did you do that? Why was this even added? So, if you're looking for a good story, that's pretty much there. Now let's go talk about the optional side quests. Now, if you ever played the Thieves Guild, you'll know that they make you do contracts or bounties, heists, or what they call it in the Dark Brotherhood is called sacraments. And it's kind of like trials, where every time you do a contract, you get X amount of XP towards your next Brotherhood rank. And every time you get a new rank, you get a new level. So you kind of have to grind out like a few of them, which takes a couple hours. And the side missions or the contracts are not really the most fun things, but whatever, you're going to have to do it. They're not going to fix anything about it, so deal with it, essentially. Now, there's one thing they added, which was pretty cool. It's called the Blade of Woe. It's not actually a weapon, but it's like an animation thing where if you've ever played Assassin's Creed, it's kind of like that, and you should know what stealth killing is. And it was pretty neat. They have a few animations that pretty much never get old, no matter how many times you do it. It's pretty neat. So, the bosses in this game weren't too difficult. They were just like, if you don't know what you're doing, you might get completely wrecked, but overall, just don't stand in the red cones and circles. That's a pretty good tip, I guess. But overall, would I say it's worth buying? Yeah. Snell, after playing the complete expansion, like all 3 expansions, in my opinion, my favorite was still Orsinium. Then the Brotherhood was next, and then the Thieves Guild was third. So, if you were looking for ones to play just into your own time, Orsinium was the best one because you get to free roam, just do quests at your own pace. And then the Dark Brotherhood had a better story, in my opinion, than the Thieves Guild. So in conclusion, I thought this DLC was really enjoyable. It's worth your money, and you'll have a lot of fun times in it. And you might also have some frustrating moments if you completely suck at stealth sections of it. But yeah, if you want to watch more gameplay, feel free to follow me on my Twitch channel or subscribe to me on YouTube, whichever one you watch most. All the links are in the description, so you don't have to actually find it. I left it all there for you. The benefits of following me on Twitch is you get to watch gameplay in advance before it hits YouTube, because I have to like edit it and stuff. So you guys get to answer or ask me any questions. I usually answer most of them. And yeah, it's just always a good time when you guys come to hang out with me on Twitch and just watch some gameplay. And if you are new to the channel, I'd love to see you guys come back. I do upload videos 7 days a week of various games. That's like new games, and during the summer months, it's usually slow. So whatever you guys recommend, I usually just take a look at. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you still have any questions about the Dark Brotherhood expansion or just anything in life in general, feel free to let me know. Leave it in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you. So yeah, hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I would love to see you guys come back for more gameplay. See you then.